From US Cellular Field in the beautiful city, Chicago, Illinois, Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Alex Rios, Andrew Jones, Carlos Quentin, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Vernon Wells and Cito Gaston's red-hot Toronto Blue Jays. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you the first of this four-game set. As you know, last night the Sox took the rubber match of that game with Kansas City. They won it 9-2. Freddie Garcia picking up his first victory of the season. Sox had some home runs in that game. So right now everything looks to be pretty good because we're playing a team that's won 6 out of the last 7. And they're leading the league in home runs. And for us tonight on the bump, Johnny Danks.
John Danks is 3-0. His ERA is in the low ones. He's really been spectacular. And he beat this team in Toronto, which is a pretty good trick. The first 4-game series, they split it with the Blue Jays, but the Blue Jays have their second baseman back. And Aaron Hill is a good one, although he's not playing real well right now. Dana Evelin's going to the mound for the Blue Jays, and he's 2-1 this year. He threw a gem against us up in Toronto. Now, he's one of the guys that gives us problems, a left-hander who can get the breaking ball over the plate and throw a good straight change. Hopefully they learn something, and that is try to beat him to right field. If they can do that, they can cool off this Blue Jay team and maybe get some momentum, Hawk.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
And 0 record on the line. Danks has been the Sox most consistent starter, going 7 or more innings in 3 of his 5 starts so far this season. I had a chance to speak with pitching coach Don Cooper and ask him what Danks has done differently to be so successful.
The big key for anybody, but especially John, has been to throw more strikes, and especially early in the count to get ahead. The formula for success for anybody is pretty simple, Certainly strikes with all your pitches. You got to get ahead in the count. First pitch strikes. The first 3 pitches are crucial because you're at the end of 3 pitches, you want to be ahead. Using both sides of the plate, holding runners, feeling your position. These are all things that he does, and this is and he's against strikes though, and more strikes, but quality strikes. That's pretty much the answer.
As he continues in his career, have you seen his mental approach get better as well?
His mental approach has always been good, you know. I can go back to his first year when we kind of was on-the-job training. There was many adjustments he was trying to make at the major league level. And in some ways, they probably should have been done at the minor league level, but he's such a tough kid. He's such a good competitor. You know, those things we were doing in the first year. And, you know, oh, by the way, you got to go out and pitch against the Yankees or Boston. It's not easy. He was a young kid. He still is a young kid. Now, this is his fourth year, and a lot of the things have started to, you know what? The trials and tribulations he went through, they're paying off for him. The big thing he's got, other than the strikes I mentioned before, he's got heart. He competes, and you can see that. You can visibly see that in his competitiveness.
Does that help, too? I mean, when a guy gets off to a fast start, I mean, do you see that a guy even get more confident each time he goes out when he gets off to a good start like this?
You know, it's not only a good start. When a guy gets going, when a guy starts doing well, you know, confidence it spreads, it breeds. You know, I'm not sure there's anything bigger than confidence. Everybody here has got ability. It's the guys that believe in themselves, that really believe in themselves. It's not that confidence doesn't come from outside source. It comes from within. And, you know, but that keeps breeding. And you feel really good. You don't feel like anybody can get you. Confidence is huge in any athletic event.
And here's a comparison of John Danks from last year to this year through 5 starts. You see his record is better. And look at his ERA at 1.85. His strikeouts are up, and his opponent's batting average is down to just .202. So John Danks off to a very good start. We will be back to U.S. Cellular Field for tonight's big game, the first game of the series between the Sox and the Blue Jays. We'll have your starting lineups next.
Bay, Alex Gonzalez, Bautista, Buck, and Travis Snyder hitting 9. The Jimmy John's defensive setup, and now they'll line up behind John Danks, left to right in the outfield, Pierre, Rios, and Jones in the infield, Nix, Ramirez, Beckham, and Mark Kotze. As Paul Konerko was scratched late, Kotze inserted. Behind the plate, it's going to be Ramon Castro. And the Toyota starting pitcher, John Danks, looking for win number 4, ERA in the 1s. He's thrown brilliantly. Throw the ball around the infield. It's a cool night for baseball. 52 degrees, 53% humidity. Winds 10 miles an hour. Forecast cool and cloudy. And the umpires, Bill Welke behind the plate. Mike DeMuro at first. Tim Welke at third. Jim Reynolds at third. Tim Welke at second. And we're ready for baseball. So I'll throw it to my play-by-play partner, Hog Harrelson.
All right, Stone Pony, thank you, and good evening, everyone. And once again, welcome to White Sox Baseball's first pitch strike to newly acquired Fred Lewis. Leading off for the Blue Jays. Lewis comes in, hitting at .273 with a homer and 6 RBIs, coming over from San Francisco. And a count 0-2.
If he taps one in the infield, you had better go get it, because this guy can fly.
Outfield about equidistant, slightly to the left, and the 0-2 pitch. Blue Jays come in 16-13, hitting at .238 as a club, but they lead the league with 43 home runs. And that fastball out of play left side. Cito Gaston, a couple of World Championships rings as the manager. Blue Jays, he's a good one. He's a keeper. That pitch high and wide, and the count 2-2.
Talking to Cito, he said this is going to be the last year on the bench, but he has a fairly lengthy contract as a consultant.
Well, he should. He's a terrific baseball man. He's one of those guys, he's a player's manager. Guys love to play for him. And here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. As once again the 2-2. Back through the middle. So good speed aboard. He is 3 for 4 in stolen bases.
Good battling at bat for Freddie Lewis. Finally gets this cutter out of the way and takes it right back up the middle. Now Lewis hasn't seen the John Danks move, so if he gets a little adventuresome off first base, and he is a base stealer, John might have a shot to pick him off.
Here's Aaron Hill. They missed him in that 4-game setup in Toronto. But this guy's a player. Last year hit .286, 36 homers, drove in 108. And lifetime off Danks is 3 for 6 with a homer. And the count 2-0. Just a decent lead by Lewis. Come back and get him. You don't want to even walks right here, Johnny Danks.
Well, you don't want to dig yourself into a hole with the next two guys coming up. Both of them have big power and have big power numbers this year.
And Cito is an offensive player, and he is an offensive manager.
I faced him in the first game I ever threw in the big leagues when he was with the San Diego Padres. And they had 4 guys exactly alike, big right-hand hitters back to back to back. Ollie Brown, Cito Gaston, Ivan Morel, and Nate Colbert.
And that's ball 4. So trouble of brewing right here in the very top of the first inning. 2 on, nobody out. And here comes Adam Lynn, the DH. Comes in hitting at .252 with 5 homers and 16 ribbies.
And I think we're really just scratching the surface to the abilities of this young man, because he's got big power and uses all fields.
It doesn't make any difference if you don't throw strikes, and that's what in the pregame show right there they were just talking about with Coop, Kip Lewis. If you throw strikes, and Johnny's been throwing strikes early in the count, getting in ahead, changing speeds, being left-handed, that usually gets you a pretty good performance, but you got to throw strikes. And that ball into center field. Alex is there, makes the grab, and it is out number 1. So 1 down with 2 on, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Vernon Wells off to a big start, hitting at .318, 8 homers. He's driven in 21.
And Vernon has not been striking out a whole lot this year, just 19 strikeouts in 110 at bats. So he's been seeing the ball very well.
There goes Lewis. He gone. You see that one? Not a good jump. You can see that one coming. So that's out number 2.
Jason Nix stayed right in there as that throw was a bit into the runner. In fact, he has to dive actually, and he dove right into Lewis. Pretty good effort.
Nice motion right there with that changeup.
Well, get out of this inning with no runs, and that's a big lift to the ball club.
Especially the way the Blue Jays have been going. And on the road this year, Toronto has played 12 games, and they have won 9 of them. 7-10 at home.
Well, we split with them, and that's something that doesn't usually happen.
Hadn't for a while. Outfield straight up, spread out. Well, the 31-year-old veteran. And the count 3-1. Short lead. As that's fouled back by Hill at first. So a full count with 2 down. Right-handed hitter at the plate, so there's no sense in Kotsay playing behind him.
Lyle Overbay in the on-deck circle. He is off to a fairly slow start at 184.
Change up. He gone. And he pitches out of it. First 2 men get on, and they can't score.
Ramirez, Castro, Kotsay, and Nix round out the lineup. Jimmy John's defensive setup and how they'll line up behind Evelyn, left to right. Lewis, Wells, and Snyder in the infield. Bautista, Gonzalez, Hill, and Overbay. John Buck behind the plate. And the Toyota starting pitcher is Dana Evelyn. It's 2-1, ERA .476. can see left-handers have done nothing with him. The right-handers hitting well over 300. But Evelyn threw a gem, went 6 innings in Toronto. Got that changeup over the plate. He'll throw a breaking ball early in the count for strikes. He's on his 4th major league team. He's only 26 years old, and he seems to have somehow found the magic here in Toronto.
He pitched well against us in that Oakland uniform. That changeup from a left-hander just gives us fits. So before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as Juan Pierre stands in, hitting at 226. Takes ball 1. Corners in close. Pierre leading the league with 15 steals. He is 15 for 19. Beats that one in the hole. Somebody's got to make a real good play there, and can't do it.
That's how Juan Pierre eventually is going to get that batting average up close to his lifetime average, which is 301. He's going to slap that ball in the hole. He's going to force that third baseman in to respect the bunt. No chance at all then for Bautista to cut it off. Pretty good play by Gonzalez, who's a terrific shortstop. But he gets it there about a step late. So a promising way to start it off.
Here's Beckham. Gordon hitting at 206, a homer. He's driven in 4. Outfield spread out. Toronto outfield doesn't move around a whole bunch.
They didn't in Toronto at all.
Decent lead by Pierre.
Talked to Gordon before the game today, and I told him I thought this was going to be his night.
He had an outstanding work session with Greg Walker this afternoon. That's where Greg does such a good job. He doesn't try, when you get a youngster like Beckham, just 23 years old in his 2nd season, and he's scuffling, doesn't try to inundate him with mechanics. Actually, with Beckham, his swing really is very simple. There's not too much that's ever going to go wrong with it. It's all between the ears.
Yeah, I don't think in his case mechanics are the way to go.
No.
I think confidence is the way to go. I think Greg does a nice job of trying to instill that.
That changeup, and very quickly the count 0-2. Andrew Jones on deck. Breaking ball down and in. So with 1 out, here at first, let's check out our picks to click. Jim Angio, our director of crew with Case. Steve's going with Alex Rios. And Dr. Chris Quinn and his beautiful family. Ranger, Indiana. We're going to go with Andrew Jones, who's at the plate right now. Andrew hitting at 279 homers. He's driven in 16. Andrew has faced Evelyn 3 times, has 1 hit. Andrew sitting on 397 home runs.
And Bill Welke, knowing that one got a piece of John Buck, takes a walk out to talk with Evelyn. He's not really out there to tell him much of anything. He just wants to allow John to regain his composure. That's what catchers will do for umpires and what umpires will do for catchers.
That's what it should be. Well, this is Andrew's 23rd game he's played in. In his first 22. Off the end of the bat. Could be. Nope. But they get Pierre.
Well, good job by Juan Pierre, because if he doesn't take Aaron Hill up in the air with both feet, they got a good chance of getting two. But watch the slide. It's a clean slide, and Hill goes up and over. And when you go up in the air with both feet, you got to have a Superman arm to get it to first base.
So here's Alex on a 7-game hitting streak. On year hitting at .309, 4 homers, he's driven in 14. But Andrew, in his career, has more home runs now after 22 games than he's ever had. In fact, when he hit 51 homers back in '05, he only had 3 home runs through the first 22 games he played. So as you can tell by that, he can get them in bunches. On him on the count to Rios. Quentin on deck.
Probably from the beginning of the season until right where we are at this point, if you would look at one hitter and say he has been locked in from the beginning of the year until knocking at the door through 5 weeks of the season, it'd have to be Alex Rios. Imagine if some of those line drives he hit early had actually fallen where he'd be hitting.
Well, that's the reason I took him as my pick to click at Sox Fest. Is you had to know that the way he came in last year and joined our club as that ball ripped into left field. And Lewis stays with it, makes the cast, another hang with him. Alex Rios. And after 1, no score. Day. Once the season starts, that's my favorite day of the year.
And you should treat her very well.
That ball smoked right back to the middle, so Overbay comes in hitting at 184. Now that's his first hit off Johnny Danks in 7 at-bats.
And it's been the 2 left-handers that have gotten the base hits. And he retired the 2 right-handers, the key being a strikeout of Wells to end the first inning.
Shortstop Alex Gonzalez takes first pitch strike. He's 1 for 8 lifetime off Johnny with a homer. Comes in hitting at .278, 8 homers, 22 driven in. Last year with Boston, only hit 5 home runs. Boy, that was a terrific effort he made on that play by Pierre.
Well, Ozzie remembers him when he was just a young man with the Florida Marlins and said at the time, and that was 2003, he was about as good as there was in baseball.
Yeah, Ozzie told me it doesn't get any better than that. That's popped up. Left side. And that is out number 1. Ozzie told me this guy is as good as it gets. He said he's playing his behind off. He's better than I was. Ozzie was a good shortstop.
That's high praise. Ozzie was a terrific shortstop.
Here's Bautista. Jose hitting at .222, 6 homers. He's driven in 20. Good change.
The one thing that Bautista's not going to hit is the off-speed pitch. He is consistently geared up for the fastball, and he's got some surprising power.
Ball hit hard. Nice play right there, and rack him up. Wow, nice play by Alexei. And that'll do it after an inning and a half. Nada.
It's fairly routine after that nice pick.
So it'll be Quentin, Alexei, and Ramon Castro will be making his first at bat of the season. Carlos hitting at 184 homers and 18 driven in. That's not going to be playable.
Travis Snyder was playing well around into right center field, so he had no shot at that one.
Alex Gonzalez leading the Blue Jays in RBIs with 22. Carlos is hitting at 180, just 4 behind that. Way back. And the ball cannot be handled by Overbay. And it was a simple pick right there.
I think that's probably going to go E6, but I also believe that's a play that Lyle Overbay would tell you that he should have made the play.
So that'll be the 5th arrow on Gonzalez. Yeah, that was an easy pick.
That ball was very close to Overbay, and if he doesn't try to swipe it, if he just goes to catch it, he's got him, but we'll take it.
That fastball outside. Outfield, straight up, spread out. And that changeup grabs the strike. Even motion very similar to Bobby C. Tigers, who gives us problems. And the count 2-1. This afternoon, the Phillies beat the Cardinals 7-2 at Citizens Bank Ballpark.
If Roy Halladay knew that he was going to get 7 a day, he'd have moved into the National League a long time ago. Because that's what he's getting with Philadelphia.
3-1 to count.
He might win 30 games this year.
Well, it's just, I don't know why it's just now coming out. It's been this way for a long time. Talked about it for a long time. As that ball hit into center field. Vernon is there, and that's out number 1. If you're an agent and you have a pitcher, and he is a good one, and he becomes a free agent, you're going to try everything you can to get him to stay in the National League.
Or if he's in the American League, especially the American League East, then Halladay was great for Toronto. But moving from the American League East, where you got Tampa, Yankees, and Boston 56 times.
I don't care where you are in the American League. It's tougher than it is in the National League.
There's no question. But the East obviously is a whole lot tougher.
First pitch strike to Castro. Making his first at bat. But after getting to know Jake Peavy in spring training and now up to this point of the season a little bit, I don't think Jake doesn't care where he pitches. If you missed his last outing, what was he ever dominant? Wow.
That's because almost the entire performance against Kansas City looked like he started with a 1-2 count. He just kept throwing everything over the plate, and they weren't touching it.
And he was throwing hard with good movement. 0-2 the count to Ramon.
Well, if he can, in his own mind, picture one pitch he made that entire performance, it would be a fastball inside to Billy Butler that probably moved 12 inches down and in, and he struck him out.
At least.
Unbelievable.
That was just a disappearing fastball. We didn't get the full effect of it. We saw the movement from up here, but when you got the center field camera replay shot and saw the movement on it, I mean, as a hitter, I'm just thinking to myself, oh my goodness, you got no chance. And that's popped up. Wells. So that'll bring up Mark Kotsay. Mark, another one of our guys who's really been struggling, but he is going to hit as Carlos is going to hit, as Beckham's going to hit. We are coming in at 12-16, 4 games under. Could not have played any worse than we played. We got a lot of good things to look forward to when these guys start hitting the baseball. Takes it outside.
Well, Paul Konerko was originally in the starting lineup, but about 4:35 o'clock he came up with a stiff neck, and Mark Kotsay was inserted into his spot at first.
Checks it up, and the count 2-0. Jason Nix on deck. The ball hit hard. Stretch. Wells back, reaches up and hauls it in. He just missed it. Dadgummit. We'll go to the third. No score. Hitting at 225. Not check it up. He has 5 homers and 14 driven in. Buck last year with Kansas City hit 247 with only 8 homers and 36 knocked in.
One home run he hit against us in Toronto might still be going. He got every bit of it.
He killed it.
And it went into the upper deck in left field.
One and two the count. 29-year-old veteran. Pittsburgh leading the Cubs 11-0.
That's that former Baltimore pitcher. Remember the left-hander Brian Burris? He's now a Bucco.
He scored 5 in the first. Oh, Randy Wells.
And he came in 3-0.
He gone. Changeup.
Strikeout number 2 for Johnny. That changeup is perfect.
And in the second inning, I was watching that, and the umpire missed a call at first base. And because of that, they added 2 more. It was 7-0 after 2. Snyder. Their hand. And now Snyder moves into second base.
Base
hit.
hit.
A hit and an error.
E4. This part of it's good. But that part, not so good. Wide of the bag. And a good heads-up play by Snyder, because many times hitter will get complacent with one. And if that ball doesn't go into the dugout or the stands, they'll stay there, but he just took off.
Back to the top of the order with the left fielder, Fred Lewis. He singles sharply up the middle, lead off the ball game. Nice snap. 2 down.
Anything hit to your glove side, you've got a pretty good shot at it. And that was right at the glove, and John does what he should do. You take a look at the lead runner. You freeze him. In this case, you get him going back to the bag, and then, because you've got plenty of time, you make that throw to first base.
So here's Hill. He drew a walk. Good change up. Baltimore leading Minnesota 2-0. Top of the third inning at the Target Center. Are they ever going to get on the road again? Just because they opened a new ballpark doesn't mean they play 81 there.
New ballpark, and you get to play your first 30 at home. I think that's the rule.
Well, I'll tell you, it seems like they've been there since day one.
Let's just check this out. Minnesota, 12 games at home, 16 on the road to this point.
Yeah, but it just seems like it's been 12 in a row.
19-9 coming into action today. Detroit 3.5 back.
2-1 to count. Aaron Hill.
We find ourselves in third, 7 games back, and we have yet to have any semblance of a hot streak.
A hot streak?
Well, a warm streak.
Very tepid streak. Katse makes the catch and return to the side. We go to the bottom of the third. Still goose eggs. White Sox Blue Jays tomorrow night at 6:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. Fans' best friend. Chilly night here in the beautiful city.
But a good night for pizza.
And here we go. Jason Nix will lead it off against the southpaw Dana Evelyn. Takes low ball 1. Jason hitting at 188. Very sporadic playing time. Outfield straight up, spread out. There's a strike to even the count at 1. 1 Pierre on deck.
Juan has the lone Sox hit of the night.
Breaking ball down and in, and the count 2-1. Bottom of the third now. Minneapolis still 2-0 Baltimore. Takes it right there. The changeup. That's Burgesson for the Orioles and Pavano for the Twinkies. And the count goes full. First of a 4-game set tomorrow. Just mentioned Burley against Sean Markham. He of the throw it through a teacup Markhams.
We didn't see Markham in that 4-game series in Toronto, so it'll be our first look at him. Got a great straight change.
And even better control. And there's ball 4. So a good at bat. The dreaded leadoff walk. And here's one. One beat one in the hole between third and short. Gonzalez made a terrific effort but couldn't get it. On Saturday, make your plans to be with us as well. Jake Peavy against Brett Cecil. Cecil last time out had a perfect game going into the 7th inning. Jake last time out was just awesome. In the finale on Sunday, this series in this homestand, Gavin Floyd against Ricky Romero. Takes the bunt. Bautista way in on the grass.
Juan's not going to be able to bunt to third base for a base hit. So if he does want to bunt, because Evelyn, like most left-handers, falls off the mound to the third base side, just drag it with him.
There's a strike. One and one to count. Knicks, just a decent lead. And Juan upset with himself. A little too much hook 'em on it.
Yeah, unfortunately, he got that ball low and inside. And that ball just went well foul.
And the 1-2 pitch. Lewis giving chase, and he's going to run out. Tough play for a left fielder with those low fences out there.
Well, eventually you've got to pull up.
Unless your first name's Rodney. Rod McRae went right through the wall.
Right through the wall?
You've seen that video.
Oh, in the outfield?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He went right through.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Got him. Still one down.
Evelyn keeps his ball low and away. Good slider. And he gets it.
So the second strikeout for Evelyn, and here was the first. Beckham, Gordon. Got him on a breaking ball, down and in. Woof. All over that changeup. Just pulling his head. It's a habit. He's just taking his head off right at the last second. And when you do that, he got himself 2 days ago, real nice base hit. Head stayed right on it. Shot it into right field. He Thought that ball may have been a little high right there.
Well, the first one was very hittable, and he missed it. And that one.
Well, Buck's going to pull it down, let it go on through. So Buck thought it was high as well. In the dirt. Nix quickly seeing it, and he's in there.
That's one thing that the Sox have done a good job of this year, because John Buck did everything he could possibly do to throw out Nix. Kept the ball in front of him, pounced on it quickly. But if Jason hesitates at all, he's out at second base. As soon as this ball went into the dirt, he was gone. You've got to make that commitment and then take off. It goes as a wild pitch, but that's heads-up base run.
Picking up Gordon. Andrew Jones on deck. Two down.
Organize a group outing of 20 or more guests during the 2010 season. You can purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas. The more tickets you order, the more money you save. Call 312-674-1000 or visit WhiteSox.com to book your group outing today.
So here's Andrew. He hit into a 5-4 fielder's choice. .397 home runs. Generous strike right there called by Welke.
I think Bill Welke is pretty much telling the hitters tonight, you better swing the bat. He does have a liberal zone, but I think he's going to have that zone for both pitches.
Well, he's going. There's no question about that. Bill's a good umpire, and he will have it for both sides. I wish there were about 70 or 75% of the umpires that had that strike zone that he's got.
Well, we saw a pretty good group in the series that just concluded.
That was the best umpired series we've seen all year. Turns that fan on, misses it, and the count 1-2.
Throws one up and out of the zone, and Andrew decides to take it on to the Dan Ryan. Just missed it.
Ball hit hard, but hooks it foul. .44 degrees as we speak.
Not going to get any warmer. We got to the ballpark, it wasn't bad, and then all of a sudden, temperatures seemed to drop 15 degrees.
Ava once again on top of the count. Nix at second, 2 out. No score here in the bottom of the third. And the 2-2 pitch. Alex Rios on deck. He's the only one to hit the ball hard off even. What new? The line shot that Lewis made a good catch on it. How many pitches has he got?
Not that many. Throws a curveball, cutter, and a very good straight change with the occasional fastball.
Most of the time he tries to throw to the right-hand hitters that fastball up on top of the zone. So, I mean.
Yeah, this is a show-me pitch, and if you want to swing at it out of the zone, that's your prerogative.
And now.
Not quite ready yet.
Can't get the hook out. Here we go. Payoff pitch.
Got that one in out of his hands. Andrew. A little too quick with it. Goes 4 inches inside or so. There's not many folks going to keep it fair.
Maybe 2 to 3%. Tops.
Maybe if they do, it's a pretty good job.
And that's ball 4. That'll bring up Alex. So the second walk of the inning.
Well, this really is the right man in the right spot because he's hit the ball along with Mark Kotze as hard as anybody's hit it tonight.
Boy, he just killed that ball out there. Lewis stayed right with it. First time I've seen, I saw Lewis play in one exhibition game we televised over in Scottsdale a couple of years ago. His first, but he stayed. He showed me a little something on that play. Two on, two out, and the 1-0 pitch. Hit him on the fist, made a good pitch. And that'll retire the side. Nothing across, no hits. We strand 2. We've left 4 in this game, and there's still no score.
Fourth meal from Taco Bell. Open 1 a.m. or later.
First pitch to Adam Lynn, taken for a strike here in the top of the 4th inning. Lynn 0 for 1, went out to center field. Lynn born in Muncie, now lives in Hanford. And that's into left field. Pierre back on the track. 1 out. Fans, Bloomberg Sports, leader in data analysis, has developed an analytical product being used by a lot of clubs. There's also a product for you fans. Improve your fantasy play or track your favorite players and teams. Go to BloombergSports.com for details. No runs, 3 hits for them. No runs, 1 hit for us. All 3 hits for the Blue Jays by left-handed hitters. Now that's the first one by the right-hander. Right back through the middle.
Again, the difference between a ball on the glove side and the throwing hand side. John did a nice job of getting out of the way of this one. That one just missed getting a piece of his posterior.
Ball was racky-tacked. Well, left-handed hitters, they're hitting over 100 points, 107 points more off Danks than right-handers. So here's Overbay. He shot one back through the middle his first trip.
That's because of that straight change that John throws so well to the right-hand hitters.
That's exactly the reason. On the other side of the page, Evelyn's got a pretty good change-up. His left-handers don't hit anything against him. Right-handers wearing him out. 1-1 to count. Wells 2 for 2 in stolen bases. Blue Jays 18 for 21 in that category.
And Overbay leads this team in grounding into 4 double plays. So get him to hit the ball on the ground.
Our outfield is spread out. Bit of a gap out there in left center. There's a strike and the count 1-2.
Talking with Cito, he said that if his team can stay close, ownership has promised that they would let go of some of that money and help this ball club as they get closer toward the trading deadline.
Well, you and I both have learned one thing over the years. It's easy to assume, I think when Rogers Communications, almost a monopoly up there in Canada.
They got a few bucks.
Well, again, we assume they do. Sometimes everybody assumed Tom Hicks had a lot too.
He did at one point.
At one point.
Yes. This might not be the point.
The one thing we did know for a long time is that Carl Pohlad did have maybe the richest owner in all of sports. And he wouldn't part with it.
No, that was why he was the richest owner in all of sports.
And his sons now are doing so. They're parting with him because he got a new ballpark.
Well, they're up in the 90s, and plus they've just signed Mauer for $180+ million, so they're going to be well up over 100 next year. And they've got a beautiful ballpark. They also have a wonderful system, and that's certainly helped them all these years to stay competitive. Great example is Mauer goes down. They bring up one of their top prospects, Ramos. He gets 7 hits the first 2 games. He's hitting something like .439. And that system has been so productive that it has allowed them to stay competitive despite not keeping up with the big money teams.
That system has been productive for 50 years.
They do just a great job.
And in fact, over the last 50 years, it's probably been the most productive of any in Major League Baseball. And that's out of play. Even when Haynes and the Griffiths owned that ball club, They just kept pumping out the prospects, selling them off once they. It was a family owned, like a mom and pop store.
Yeah, that was Calvin Griffith.
Joe Haynes. And Robertson. Is he gone?
Jim Cott told me 1 year he went 14-12 through I don't know how many innings, 240, 260 innings, something like that, and got a cut in the mail. His contract was for, he said, like a $5,000 cut. Went and talked to Calvin, asked him, I mean, that was a pretty good year. He said, no, I paid you for a much better year. I'm going to have to cut your salary. Said he had to fight him to get the same money he made the last year.
Well, that was a whole process back in those days.
Yeah.
That's cued off the end of the bat. Attaboy. So Gonzalez has retired on that good changeup. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Still no runs.
Of time.
Carlos Quentin, Alexi Ramirez, and Ramon Castro here in the bottom of the fourth inning. They have no runs on 4 hits. We have no runs on 1 hit. To Hopper right down to Bautista. See, Jose Bautista's been doing a pretty good job down there.
Well, he also has the luxury of playing him just about anywhere. We saw him in right field in Toronto. He really gives you a lot of flexibility.
You know, getting back to Cott, that situation with Calvin Griffith. Well, I like Calvin. Calvin's. I played for a guy that wasn't so good, Charlie Finn. 1965. I didn't start the season off playing. Finally, they put me in there to play. I wound up leading the club in home runs and RBIs, finished 9th in the league in home runs. I was making $6,000, which was minimal. And he sent me a contract of $6,500.
Well, that's a pretty big raise.
So I tore it up, sent it back to him. We didn't have FedEx back in those days, so it took a little while.
I did that once, yes.
Well, he sent me another one back. Said, if you don't sign it, quit.
That's good.
I mean,
that's good negotiating.
Well, that was a leverage that they had.
That was what they had.
Three and 0 the count to Alexei. There's a strike. One of the premier hitters in the National League for years, a dear friend of mine, Jimmy Ray Hart. Most he ever made from Giants was $30,000. There's a shot. That a boy. One out single.
Just the second hit of the game against Evelyn. He's equally as tough as he was in Toronto. But he got this changeup up. And that's when a good pitch becomes hittable.
And here's Castro. Jimmy Ray, as you know, was a terrific hitter.
Oh, he was a great hitter until Bob Gibson threw a fastball and broke his scapula. He was such a good hitter after that.
And the way they kept him at $30,000 with Jimmy Ray would call up during the winter and say, you know, I need to borrow $2,000 or $3,000. And they'd send it to him, and no agents back in those days.
No.
So then when they'd send him a contract, they'd send him a contract for $30,000, same money he made, and he said, we'll just forget about the $2,000 or $3,000 you owe us. Watch out.
Well, John Buck readjusted quickly. Saw Ramirez off the bag. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing. I'm not sure that he's sure what he was doing. You can't go leaning back to the bag and then take off. Gets a face full of mitt, and he's got it.
And that is ball 4. Third walk issued by Evelyn. He now has 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. And here's Kase. Kase almost took him out of here to deep right center field. High towering drive. Ball 1. 6'1", 235 pounds. 15 and 18 in his career. As a count, 1-1.
Sometimes left-handers mature a bit more slowly. He's on his 4th organization.
They're faster than they used to be. There used to be a formula that was taken for granted that left-handers were going to take at least 2 to 3 more years than a right-hander to mature at the big league level. But now you're getting some left-handers coming in.
David Price.
That are on par with right-handers. As there's a chopper. Nice little bowling book bounce right there to Overbay. And we're into the 5th. $5 foot-long subs from Subway. Spicy Italian. Yes. A little bit spicy Italian.
We'll get on the phone.
Lettuce, tomato, some olives, mayonnaise, oil and vinegar.
Oh, you get the low-cal version.
Doc Edwards shot right there. Beckham, one pitch, one out. As Bautista's retired. He's now 0 for 2.
John Danks has been very good tonight, and he's had to be because his mound opponent, Dana Eveland, has been equally as good. John's given up 4 hits. Eveland's given up 2 hits, but no runs.
Buck, a strikeout victim. 1 of 3 registered by Danks thus far. Takes the strike, and the count evens at 1. Bottom of the 8th in Pittsburgh, 11-1 Pirates over the Cubs. Softly hit, base hit in the center for Duck Snort.
Support your Chicago White Sox by becoming a season ticket holder. The White Sox Aussie plan features 13 games, including Cub Series tickets, leaving the rest up to you. Prices vary depending on selected seat category and game choices. For details, visit whitesox.com or call 312-674-1000 to speak with a ticket sales representative.
Here's Snyder. He had a little infield single, hit a little soft grounder to Beckham. Came in charged, tried to barehand it, threw it wild, and Snyder wound up on second. Fastball, a strike. Snyder is 22 years old. Last year, 241 with Toronto with 9 homers and drove in 29.
And this is a guy that they're going to show a lot of patience with because they know he's got big power.
Well, they should. But the patience sometimes runs thin if, in fact, their pitching holds them in there. But they should have enough offense to be able to carry him if he struggles. One of these days, he should break out. He's got a big upside. Short, quick, and powerful.
We saw him get a hold of one in Toronto that went a long way.
Count hangs at 1 and 2. Saw Macedo today, and he said they've got some kids down there that are just absolutely chomping at the bit to get here because they know they can pitch up here and they know they can play up here. The Blue Jays think the same thing. So a lot of these guys who are struggling right now, according to what happens in the race, all predicated on Toronto's bullpen. They've got the starting pitching. Bullpen sometimes can be a little shaky. 2-2 pitch. That's trouble. That's into the corner. So Buck now is going to be held at third. Jones. Perfect throw to the cutoff man. And trouble a brewing here. Ducks on the pond, 1 out.
Snyder shows you just how strong he is because he one-hands this ball into the corner, and Andrew doesn't fall into the trap of just airmailing it into the infield, because if that was the case, there was a chance of Buck scoring. But he got it right to Beckham. Buck doesn't have great speed, and now Don Cooper comes out, and he wants to talk to him about just exactly what they want to do with Freddie Lewis. Bill Welke out to the mound to try to break things up.
Lewis. Single sharply back through the middle in the first. And he hit a hard comeback. A snap by Danks. So left side in. Beckham halfway. You don't have to come all the way in because of buck speed. You play in a commensurate with the speed of the runner at third. Got say even with the bag and off the line. And the count 2-0. Aaron Hill on deck. Hill 36 homers last year. Checks it up, takes a strike. 2-1. First time since the first inning that Danks has been in trouble there in the first. If you're just tuning in, they had the first 2 men aboard. And he got out of it. Not this time. Two-run double, and it's 2-0 Blue Jays.
RBI 7 and 8 for the newly acquired Freddie Lewis, who's hit the ball hard 3 straight times.
So here's Hill. He has walked and he has popped up to first. Big hack at that changeup. Good movement. $2-7-1 for the Blue Jays. 0-2-1 for our Sox here in the top of the 5th inning. Here's a good strike. And the count 0-2. Outfield or playing him straight up and spread out about equidistant. That changeup foul back into the guy for the souvenir. That's up high. Hill is a lifetime .285 hitter. Power-wise, really came into his own last year with those 36 homers and 108 RBIs. Long set and look. That ball smoked into left field. One. He's there, makes the catch.
He was fighting the lights all the way with that one. That ball doesn't get up real high. You're going to have to look into the lights and make the play. And Hill scalded that ball. Castro out to talk with John Danks, who has not fooled him here in the 5th inning.
Well, of the 7 hits, the left-handers have 5 of them.
They've been hit pretty hard.
And here's Lynn. He went out to center, and then he went out deep to left. And it is fouled back. And it's in the seats. Outfield slightly to the left. There's the changeup. And the count 0-2. And the lifetime 287 here. And this next pitch will be number 73 for Danks. Ball gets away. Castro throws him out, and that'll retire the side. But 3 consecutive hits highlighted by the 2-run double off the bat of Freddie Lewis. We're halfway home, trailing 2-0. All right, our Chuck, thank you very much. We're down 2-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Leading off for us will be Jason Nix, and back to the top of the order with Juan Pierre and Gordon Beckman. Jason, who walked to lead off the 3rd, takes down low ball 1. Bautista off the line a few steps and halfway at 3rd. Whoa. There's that generous outside corner, but it's been the same for both sides.
Well, it's been a night where Bill Wilkie's saying you got to swing the bat.
There is nothing wrong with it. The only difference in what he is doing tonight is not telling them verbally. In years past, they would tell you verbally. It is cold, you swing the bat, young man. And if you didn't, you grab some bench. That's foul straight back.
Very close to the booth, dipping underneath.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Something going off this guy. I mean, you know, he's a left-hander. He throws strikes. He's got a good change-up. But Hard one hopper. Joe Gonzalez, 1 out.
Vote to send Sox players to the 2010 All-Star Game. Join our punch party on Tuesday, June 10th to kick off All-Star voting. Come to the Gate 1 Plaza when gates open. Punch ballots and participate in our pregame punch party around the field.
Here's Juan Pierre. He's 1 for 2. Takes a strike. A little infield single in the first. He struck out in the third. It's off and hit the hill. 2 down.
We'll get a call to Boston because after he threw that good game against us and against Kansas City, where he was pretty good, Boston just manhandled him. Went 3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 7 earned runs. Not tonight.
As you well know, you've seen it, as I have over the years. You get certain pitchers going there. They look at that left field wall, and all of a sudden you couldn't pull a greased tee out of there behind with a pair of pliers.
Left-handers especially have got to go inside in that ballpark.
Little nubber out in front of the mound. Buck. It's going to be a very easy inning. 1, 2, 3 for Eatland, and we're into the 6th. And the Blackhawks have a way for you to catch exciting playoff action live. Text playoffs to BHawks. That's 242-957 to join Blackhawks Mobile and be entered to win 2 tickets to a Blackhawks home playoff game. Go Hawks. No purchase necessary. Message and data rates apply. They put it to them last night. The Canucks.
Pretty exciting game, and Dustin Byfuglien had a great game. He's a huge man.
250.
Yep.
Wow, those skates have. As there's a base hit. Wells picks up his second hit. He's now 2 for 3. So here's Overbay. He's 1 for 2. A single and a strikeout. Two runs on 8 hits, 1 error for them. No runs on just 2 hits, 1 error for us. 1-1 the count to the 33-year-old first baseman Lyle Overbay. And that's low. Overbay will be a free agent next year. That's high into left field. And he is off to a rugged start this season.
That's a tough position to be a free agent if you don't have big power.
Well, you don't know if he's just been in a funk of some sort or if the pressure is getting to him. You know, he's the only one that knows that. He's the only one that can say it. But some guys handle it different than others. Some guys, you put them in their free agent year and they will absolutely light it up.
Yeah, that was the secret of Darryl Strawberry all of those years.
Here's Gonzalez. Takes it up high. He is popped to short and grounded to second. Outfield straight up, spread out. Gap out there in right center. And that's foul straight back.
Very close to us. But the problem with Overbay is that he's got 104 home runs in this his 10th major league season. And he's playing a position where most clubs like their first baseman to hit it out of the park on occasion.
Two and one.
Johnny about ready to deliver pitch number 82.
Well, it's just a decent lead over there. And that is popped up. Alexei, 2 down. So here's Jose Bautista. Get into a 6-4-3 double play. That was a nice double play started by Alexei. That was a shot, one hopper to Alexei's right, backhanded it. And from there it was just academic, and he also has popped up the second.
Wells not getting too adventuresome at first base, although he is one of their better base runners.
And if you miss that double play back in the second inning, poof. That ball was scolded.
And after that good pick by Alexei, it was very easy after that.
That's low, ball 1. 1-1 the count, 2 out. It's the final from PNC, 11-1 Pirates over the Cubs. Bottom of the 7th in Minnesota. Baltimore still shutting them out 2-0.
Hang on, overs.
Paulie, who had that stiff neck, took him out of the lineup. You get him out of that lineup, except for a rest, it had to be pretty bad. Paulie has played many years here, and a lot of those seasons have played really banged up. He's had a bad wrist, bad thumb for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, that thumb has really given him a whole lot of problems.
He still played.
Well, he knows that's his job.
Well, Big Frank Thomas banged up a lot in his career with us. And he'd go to the post for you every day. That has a lot of merit and a lot of value.
Manager coming to the ballpark knows that he's going to be able to write your name in there. You're going to make him a very happy man.
Now you get a general manager and a manager going over their ball club after the season's over, and all of a sudden they can say, okay, Mark Burley, we know about what he's going to do. And this is obviously barring injury. We know about what he's going to give us. Johnny Danks, we know about what he's going to give us. Steve Stone, we know about what he's going to give us. He went. He gone. And that'll do it. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth. It is still 2-0 Bad Guys. Sarah, the Sports Night presented by Danks tonight after postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Winning that game last night was a big win because you're guaranteed with home ice advantage coming home for the game Sunday night.
Well, all the pressure is going to be on Vancouver. I'll tell you, that is not a bad hockey club at all. That's a pretty good and rough, tough group of guys. That's one of those things, you know, the Hawks, they just got to do what they did last night. Got a little check swing, and Bill's got that. So Andrew Jones now 0 for 2 with a walk. And that's out number 1. They just got to come out and maintain that same intensity. So that'll bring up Alex. He is lined hard to left field. Lewis made a good catch, and then he popped up to first. But we're looking at Evelyn tonight. You know, you look at Evelyn. This is for all you parents out there who've got youngsters who want to aspire to be a major league pitcher, who are left-handed. They don't have to throw hard. You don't have to throw hard.
Especially if you're a left-hander.
That's what I said. If they're left-handed, you don't have to throw hard. He was a 43rd round draft choice. And that's popped up. 2 down. But I'll tell you, if you got a son like that who wants to aspire
pitch.
I got a youngster in the field out there. He's going to wish that he never did this. But if they can learn a good changeup, Stone Pony, the scouts might not notice them in high school or even college. But somebody out there might notice you. And if you do get the opportunity, and you throw strikes and you got a good changeup and you're left-handed, you can pitch in the big leagues.
Well, the big difference for the left-hander is that the left-hander can be any size. They really like their starting right-handers to be 6'2", 6'3", up to 6'6", or 6'7". That's because there's many more right-handed starters than there are left-handed starters. So guys like Evelyn, they'll be kept around longer until they learn how to pitch. Where right-handers, they have a little shorter leash, and if they don't get it, they're going to move them along, and a lot of times it doesn't come to them. But like, he's on his 4th team, and he's 26 years old.
Look at Mark Burley, greatest pitchers in White Sox franchise history. And he's still just 31 years old. He was a 38th round draft choice. But he threw strikes and he had a good changeup.
Talked to his dad and asked him if he ever thought that his son in the 38th round would be able to accomplish what Mark's been able to accomplish. And he thought, geez, I was hoping that he could find a spot in the bullpen one day and pitch in the major leagues. Worked out a touch better than that.
Well, that man that you're looking at right there has got a tremendous amount of heart. And some big stones.
Well, he's a big man.
Yes, he is. 6'2", 230. 2-2 the count to Quentin. He was 0 for 2. He reached on an error. And he is grounded to third. And that changeup has popped up right side. At a 7 in a row retired by Evelyn, he's got it on cruise control. First two to face Johnny Danks. Buck started off that 2-run 5th with a 1-out duck snort into center field. Yeah, that's quite a contrast when you're talking about a guy like Dana Evelyn, 43rd round draft choice. The majority of our hitters would rather be facing a first-round pick for Toronto, a right-hander coming out of there throwing 97, 98. Well, basically is just straight.
Look at Toronto and look at what we did to Morrow as opposed to what we did to Romero and Evelyn.
Romero has pitched the best game against us we've seen all year.
Well, he's a different type of left-hander.
Yeah.
He's a left-hander, first-round draft choice, very good stuff. But that's what the lower rounds are for in the draft. You take a guy that you might project that your organization can do a little something with him. In this case, it took a number of organizations to get the most out of Evelyn, but again, at 26, still a relatively young man, and he's been traded around a lot.
Get fouled. Well, a right-hander in that same scenario probably would be released and maybe out of baseball because of being a southpaw. Here he is shutting us out, going in the 7th inning.
And throwing yet another gem against us in the 2 times we've seen him.
He gone.
The second time that Buck has gone down swinging. His fastball's on the outside corner. When he struck him out in the 3rd, he struck him out with a straight change. And sandwiched in between a single that led to 2.
And here's a man who doubled back in the 5th, Travis Snyder. He had an infield single in the 3rd and a double and a run scored in the 5th.
One of the reasons why I like to go to the Arizona Fall League is you get to see guys like Travis Snyder, promising young guys who have played A or AA baseball that you know one day are going to be there. Just a question of when. In the case of Snyder, he's still a very young man. It's just you can't teach power. You can teach a few other things, but not raw power.
2-1 the count. Previous pitch was one of the few curveballs that Danks has thrown tonight. That changeup, 2-2. Freddie Lewis on deck.
He's been a thorn in our side.
Well, he's been all over Danks tonight. All over. Snyder really scuffling when we first saw him back on April 12th up there in Montreal, sitting at 150, then went down to 120, and there's ball 4.
Here's our Xfinity high defining moment, and it came off the bat of Freddie Lewis back in the 5th inning. Took that fastball, drove it into the gap. Buck and Snyder were at 2nd and 3rd, and John Danks gave up the only 2 runs of the ball game.
So the second walk issued by Johnny, and that pitch is taken down low.
Freddie Lewis, as I understand it, was a pretty good football player who the Giants trying to teach how to play this game.
Picked off. He gone.
Like Snyder tried a pop-up slide and somehow hop over the glove and jump on the bag. That's
a good way to break your leg.
That's an interesting style. Slide early, then pop up over the bag. Didn't work, but it was interesting.
Casino.
He's probably asking, what are you doing?
Casino.
Son, when you're out, you're out. That's pretty much it.
2-1 to count.
John will be delivering pitch 106. And he's been pretty effective here tonight.
He gone. Fifth strikeout for Danks. Seventh inning stretch. We need 2 to tie. Say is 1 for 2. Lead it off. Takes a breaking ball down and in. Alexei is going out to center and single to center. And the count 2-0. First of a 4-game set.
Let's see if maybe some spotty control can finally do in Evelyn.
There's 3-0. He plans to be with us tomorrow night. Mark Burley against Sean Markham. Saturday, Jake Peavy against Brett Cecil. And there's the dreaded leadoff walk.
Let's take a look at our CSNChicago.com U.S. Cellular text message poll question. And it is, if you're an opposing pitcher, which White Sox hitter would you least like to face? A, Alex Rios. B, Paul Konerko. C, Andrew Jones. Or D, Carlos Quentin. Text A, B, C, or D to 53695. Stay with us and watch White Sox postgame live for final results.
Ramon Castro has gone out to center and he is walked. Bruce Walt, pitching coach, back in that dugout. First and 30, Ramon. First pitch strike.
Bullpen up and going for these Blue Jays.
Top of the 8th, Minneapolis, still 2-0 Baltimore. Jim Thome struck out with the bases loaded.
6-7.
Up high, 1-1.
And Sean Kemp listening in the bullpen. When we were in Toronto, they switched closers. They went from Fraser to Kevin Gregg. Gregg has 7 saves and a 0.69 ERA. And although Evelyn has been in control all night, it's still just a 2-0 game.
Back him up. When you try to beat a left-hander like Evelyn to left field, if you're a right-handed hitter, you're not giving yourself the best of it.
Watch the play at second. Ramirez slid 20 feet from the bag.
So here's Kotsay. Knocks it down. Bautista's got time. So it'll be 1-5-3, and Kotsay can't buy it.
Eight hits, walked only 2 in fan 7. Sergio Santos has been brilliant. On for the 12th time, he's given up nothing. 5 walks, 13 strikeouts. And he's got to hold these Blue Jays right there and hope the offense can come back. Somehow get Evelyn out of there unless Cito wants to take him out himself.
Aaron Hill, Adam Lind, and Vernon Wells. So he's got his work cut out for him. And the count 0-1. Hill has walked, popped up to first, and then lined hard to left. There's a chopper 2 hopper. Low throw. Nice pick by Kotsay.
Prorated White Sox season ticket plans are on sale now. Full season, weekday, and weekend plans offer best seat locations at the lowest prices with the most benefits. Call 312-674-1000 or visit WhiteSox.com to reserve your seats today. Big effort by Mark Kotsay. That was not an easy ball to handle, and he handled it pretty easily.
So here's Land. He's 0 for 3. Going out to center, deep to left, and then struck out. Solid performance by Johnny Danks.
Good enough to win on most nights. Not yet tonight.
Outfield really spread out. Slightly to the left. And the count 2-1. And all over that one, just underneath it.
He hasn't seen the Santos straight change yet. It'd be a nice time to break it out of the bag.
2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. He gone.
He had no chance on that one. That was a hard slider. Take a look at the late movement on this one. Tough to lay off of and impossible to hit.
The disappearing slider. Vernon Wells is 2 for 3. Struck out in the first, singled in the fourth, and singled in the sixth. Takes that breaking ball for a strike.
Yeah, Vernon just takes his bat, bounces up and down because he took a pitch right down the middle. But you don't see hitters swing at anything spinning on the first pitch.
Very seldom.
Very seldom.
Days off that one. He did not go. Unless it's a hanger. If it's just to get me over, chances are they're not going to swing. If it's a hanger, they'll come out of the chute sometimes.
Well, he's seen 3 in a row, and that was another disappearing slider. He missed that ball by 1.5 feet.
Whoa.
That's strike 3.
Whoa. Been calling that pitch all night.
I think that one fooled Bill Welke.
That got the inside corner.
Ramon does a really good job of catching it glove up to make it look a little bit higher, but I think Bill would probably tell you that he hasn't missed many, but that was one of them.
And the 2-2. He gone, and that is a new White Sox record for rookies in appearances going unscored on by Sergio Santos.
for one. Can you name the other? Drum roll, please. The Seattle Mariners.
But right here, now we have only 6 outs to get something going because we trail it 2-0.
And Scott Downs comes in, so a fond farewell to Dana Evelyn, who was sensational. 7 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and Scott Downs on for the 15th time, and he has been hittable.
34-year-old southpaw out of Lexington, Kentucky. Here's Jason Nix. Takes first pitch strike.
Downs 0-3 this year. ERA a touch over 4.
Field straight up, spread out, and that breaking ball tried to backdoor him. Didn't come back enough. Yeah, new White Sox record for rookies, pitchers, and appearances without being scored on, and innings without being scored on. He's gone 12 appearances, 11 in the 3rd innings.
Well, we saw in spring training that his stuff was very impressive. It has gotten more impressive with each and every outing. He's getting more confidence, and he's going to be used in a different way than he was used early.
2-2 the count. Juan Pierre on deck. High pop up right side. Aaron Hill is there, and that's out number 1. So we are down to our last 5 outs.
Look at Tony Pena as he listens up. Santos is a 1-inning guy. Occasionally he'll go 1 1/3, but more times than not, you get that 1 inning out of him. Had him on the back, turn it over to the pen.
Corners in on the grass. Pierre's 1 for 3. Got an infield single leading off the bottom of the 1st.
Filed in front of home plate. You can enjoy post-game fireworks presented by Van Kampen Investments Friday, May 21st at 7:10. For tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit www.whitesox.com.
The ball is striking out. Both Blue Jay runs coming in the 5th. Softly hit down to Bautista. 2 down. To our last 4 outs. And here's Gordon. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
Now get on base, bring the tying run up, and Andrews in the on-deck circle.
At this point, Gordon would love to get on base.
Anyway.
Take one for the club. Whatever.
He's got to get it close to him first.
That Kansas City series, 6 walks. That's blowing away.
Kevin Gregg throwing in the pen. And you do have the right-handers.
I don't think Downs will face Jones if Gordon gets on.
Jones, Rios, Quentin Ramirez, all right-handed. Sitting back to back to back to back in the lineup.
That was a generous wide zone right there. But again, he's been calling it all night. Two balls, two strikes, two out. He gets the curveball down and into Gordon. It's going to be tough on the young man.
It's exactly where Buck wanted it, exactly where he threw it, and your exact outcome.
All right, we're into the ninth.
Classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source. Shop at www.whitesox.com and, of course, accept no substitutes. Tony Pena comes into the game. 0-1. ERA is up there.
First pitch strike to Lyle Overbay. Who's 1 for 3. Lyle single. Leading off the second inning. And the count 0-2.
If we're going to have a nice shot at Kevin Gregg, who's given up close to nothing, Pena's going to have to shut him down after a fine inning by Santos and a good solid 7 by John Danks, only to trail 2-0.
Another Matabatacola right there. Bobbled, controlled, and a double clutch got it.
Error number 2 for Gordon. This has not been one of his better nights. He's got plenty of time, but the last instant, he can't get it there. Overbay with very little speed, able to beat the play because of the double clutch.
Here's Gonzalez. Takes first pitch strike. Twice he has popped to short, and once he has grounded to second. Pretty good pitch right there. Didn't get that one. That one's been called all night. Oh, look at that little bounce right there. Nice bowling book bounce. If it stays down, it's going to be trouble. Rack 'em up.
2 double plays tonight as Gonzalez tried to pull that outside slider. Lexi's had a nice night at shortstop and an easy 2.
So here's Bautista. He's 0 for 3. That's that old saying, you're going to win 60, you're going to lose 60. So what you do with those other 42 will make the difference. And that's really the record that I keep with a 42. I'll go home tonight, mark it down. And we have wasted a lot of the 42. That ball hit well into right center field. Nobody's going to get that one. So the double, the 2-out double by Bautista. If we can't come back and get this one, it's another wasted, outstanding pitching performance.
That fastball is pretty close to down the middle. And Bautista just crushes it, 1 hop against the fence.
So here's Buck, 1 for 3. Also a run scored. Back in the 5th with 1 out, he singled. Duck snored into center. And Snyder doubled him to 3rd. And Freddie Lewis doubled them both in. Good job. Takes first pitch strike.
I know they say don't make the 3rd out at 3rd.
He can walk it.
But they're giving Bautista a 55-foot lead. He might as well take 3rd.
And a count 0-2. And Baltimore beat Minnesota. And that's outside. 2 out, 1-2 the count. That final 2-0. Burgess must have that good sinker going.
We saw him with pretty good stuff last year.
Nice pick right there by Alexi. Gets him, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. It'll be Jones, Rios, and Quinton. Plus, go live to Ozzy's postgame remarks. Don't miss U.S. Cellular White Sox postgame live immediately following the game on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Kevin Gregg comes into this for the 13th time. The ERA a minuscule .69. In 13 innings, he's given up just 1 earned run. He's walked only 2 and fanned 16. So somewhere along the line, he has found whatever he was doing wrong last year, because he's doing most everything right this year.
Andrew Jones has faced him 8 times, has 1 hit, and was a homer. 2-0. Blue Jays, first of a 4-game set. Mark Burley tomorrow night against Sean Martin. That pitch outside, and the count evens at 1. Big pitch right. And it goes Andrew's way. Big guy, 6'6", 240, 31 years old, out of Dallas, Oregon.
His wipeout pitch is a good splitter if he can get the 2 strikes. He didn't have a whole lot of luck pitching in Chicago.
That ball into left field. Lewis is there. And a big out. That'll bring up Alex. Alex has faced Gregg twice, and he's 0 for 2. Takes up high. And that has popped up. So we're going to be down to our last out. Maybe not. Boy, somebody has got.
I thought Vernon Wells should have come and taken control on that. I have no idea why he allowed Gonzalez to drift all the way from shortstop into right center field. That's a very difficult play for a shortstop. Look how far he's drifting. And Vernon Wells is an interested spectator.
That's just a bad play. I mean, that's just.
That goes to a 2-base hit, and there's the argument for the keen air, because that was just a brain cramp on the part of Vernon Wells.
Make him pay. Here's Carlos. He's 0 for 3. He's due. Checks it up, takes a strike. Lays off the breaking ball. Attaboy. 1-1 to count.
Carlos thought that ball was high and away. He's just shaking his head.
And the 1-2 pitch.
That was the hittable pitch. Buck wanted it away, and that ball was right down the middle.
So here's Alexei. He's gone out to center, singled, and walked. We need you right here, 10. Takes ball 1. And the count 2-0. Martin has come out on deck. If Alexei can reach, the hit for Castro. There's a strike. And it's 3-1.
Well, you can bring Tien up there. He represents the winning run. Greg has yet to give up a home run.
And a full count. Right here. Alexei, ball 4 base hit. And this ball game is over. So the Sox waste another real solid pitching performance by Johnny Danks as they win it 2-0. And let's check out our GMC player of the game. Sergio Santos, who set a new White Sox record for rookies being unscored on in appearances, starting off their careers, and innings pitched. Sergio Santos, our GMC player of the game. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer Todd Benjaminson, our associate producer Kat Lysick, our technical manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., also for the man who runs